So let's talk about SEO over the past couple of years over where it is now. Okay, so back in the day, and I've been doing SEO for quite some time, so I've seen it all from very black hat spammy stuff all the way to the modern tactics involved in SEO. Back in the day, the mindset of a search engine optimizer was, I'm going to target this keyword, I'm going to try to rank #1 for this keyword. That's my entire goal, right? Now the focus is on engagement with the brand, the product, the service. It's ROI focused. You want people to go to your website and perform that desired conversion. It doesn't matter if I get 100,000 visitors to my website tomorrow, if none of them do anything, right? If they go to my website and they immediately bounce back and don't perform any actions on my website, what was the point, right? What I'm looking for is organic traffic that goes into my website and then performs the desired action that I want them to take, right? I fill out a lead form, live chat with me, purchase something in some cases, right? And then in terms of keywords, back in the day, the focus used to be on a single broad keyword per page, right? For this particular page, I'm gonna focus on this one keyword. Now it's much more about intent. What is the searcher looking for? Are they asking a question that I can answer? Are they looking for free shipping? Is that something that I should offer and incorporate into the keywords that I'm targeting? Are they adding that they're looking for items that are used or on sale? What's the intent behind the search? And then how do I optimize my website to reflect that intent? It's also much more about long tail keywords, right? So multi-word combinations that reflect how people actually search for a product or service. People don't go when they want to find an attorney, they don't go to Google and type in attorney, right? If they're going through a bankruptcy, they might type in bankruptcy attorney in Los Angeles as an example, right? But they're not looking for these broad keywords. It just doesn't work that way anymore. And then in terms of content, right? You want search engine focused content, but you want it to be high quality. I'm gonna go through some use cases throughout this presentation of companies that did really bad jobs of optimizing their content and then were penalized as a result. But really, when you're producing content that lives on the internet, you want it to be very, very high quality. What I always tell my clients when we're creating content is our goal is to create the best page on the internet for that keyword, right? The best quality page in terms of the design, the layout, the text that we're using, how we're talking to people, the images that we're including, the video that we're including. We want the best, most descriptive page on the internet for that topic, right? And it's much more about the audience. It's about what does my audience care about and how am I catering my content to them and what they care about. And then link building. So for a long time, link building was basically just building spam into your website. There'd be what are called link farms, where you pay a company and they build 100,000 links into your website from all these spammy sources, casinos from other countries and all these forums that have no context in terms of the business. And that was the goal. It's just let's get as many links as we possibly can. Now the goal is you want relationships with publishers, right? And it's hard to build those relationships. I'm going to go through some tactics to do that in a moment. But what I want is quality links from third-party sources back to my website, okay? Because what Google does is they see that as a vote of confidence in my website. Okay, this company is willing to link to you, or this publisher or this news source is willing to link to you. You must have something going on. We're going to reward you with some rankings and some organic traffic because you're building these quality links from third-party sources. And the relevance of the link is very, very important. We're going to talk more about that when we get to the link building section. But it's much more about earning now than it is just about linking and just trying to gain as many backlinks as you possibly can. Okay, so let's talk about some of the levers of SEO, right? So these are some of the considerations that you need to be thinking of as you're going about your SEO work and actually creating SEO campaigns, right? So there's technical. Is Google able to properly crawl and index my website? That's a big one. That's usually a starting point for a lot of SEO relationships, is looking and seeing, okay, do you accidentally have all of the pages on your site set to no follow so that your links aren't being crawled by Google? Are there technical limitations on your website that are keeping you from achieving organic rankings, even if you're doing all the other things right in SEO, okay? And then there's content, right? The words on your website, the images, the video content on your website. What are you producing on your website that provides value to your customers, right? Then there's authority. A lot of that is through links, right? So third-party links back to your website builds your authority. And as you build that authority, it becomes easier and easier to gain organic traffic because Google already sees you as an authority in your space, right? But it takes time. None of this stuff happens overnight. And then there's experience, optimizing for humans. For example, you need to have a mobile-friendly website, right? Today, if you don't have a mobile-friendly website, go start figuring out a plan to make your website mobile-friendly or redesign your website so that's mobile-friendly. You absolutely need to have a mobile-friendly website. There's also other ways that you can optimize for humans, for example, through alt tags on your images, meaning that you create a description for the images on your website and makes it easier for people with visual impairments to understand what your page is about, what that image is about. So it's about optimizing for humans. Also, a common issue that I see is, websites will have these long pages of text in tiny, tiny little font, size 9 font. And it's really hard to read. What I recommend as a starting point, if you've never done SEO before, go to your website and look at the things that annoy you, right? If I'm on a page and I'm like, it's hard for me to read that tiny little font on the site, it's probably hard for your customers to read that tiny font as well. Or if your images look all blurry and low res, right? Go to your website, check out the things that bother you, that annoy you, and chances are, if it annoys you, it probably is annoying your customers and people that are visiting your website as well. So let's talk about what we call the SERP, the search engine results page, okay, the lay of the land in Google. So if you type in SEO or whatever keyword, chances are what you're gonna see all the way at the top of the search results are ads, paid search, right? Google makes a majority of their money from those online ads, so they make sure that if they can show somebody in one of those ad slots, they're going to, right? They want their advertising revenue. You may also see what's called featured snippets, which we're going to go through in just a moment, which is a relatively new function of Google. And basically what that is it's Google taking information from websites and pulling it into the Google search results. And I'm going to show you an example of that in just a second, but it's very important to consider those featured snippets when you're optimizing. Then you're going to see the organic results. Then you may see some organic media. You might see, if you're looking for, if you type YouTube in with your search, you're probably going to see a bunch of videos. If you're looking for a recipe, you might see some images and descriptions of recipes that match what you're looking for. It's not necessarily that this organic media is going to be all the way at the bottom of the Google search results. This stuff changes depending on the search, depending on your history and what Google thinks is relevant. So you might see the paid search ads all the way at the bottom. You might see the organic media all the way at the top, but this is the general layout. Then, if you're looking for a business, and particularly a service-based business, somebody that works in a particular service area, an attorney, an accountant, somebody like that, you're probably going to see their Google My Business listing, which we're going to go through in just a moment. But that's basically a tool that Google provides to business owners that allows them to really control the information that people see specifically about your company in Google. So let's talk a little bit about position 0. Okay, so for a long time, the first position in Google was position 1, right? If you had the first organic listing in Google, that first listing is going to be position 1. Now there's actually position 0. So if you search for who is Elon Musk, you're gonna see all this information from Wikipedia, but actually pulled into the Google search results. Pretty wild. And basically what that is Google is trying to provide information to people without them having to leave the SERP, without them having to actually leave Google. Now, it is desirable to get in this position 0 because at least for right now, you can see that Google does link out to that third-party source. So if I'm looking for Elon Musk, I'm gonna see, okay, here's some images of him. This is who he is. This is the companies that he's founded, his siblings, where he was, when he was born and where. But if I want more information, I'm probably gonna click on that Wikipedia link, right? So having position 0 is desirable. You do want position 0 in the search results if you can get it, right? It's not always easy. And keep in mind that Google is constantly evolving, right? So Google is constantly releasing both small and major Google algorithm updates. It happens throughout the year. These are two tools that I love just for monitoring the volatility in Google. So the first one's called Moz Rank Change History. The second is called the SEMrush Sensor. I'm gonna show you a list of all the tools that I'm gonna go through at the end of the presentation, so don't feel like you have to take notes on these right now, unless you want to. But basically what these tools do is this is really great. If you go to your Google Analytics or however you look at the organic analytics for your website and you see, whoa, I had this huge drop in organic traffic yesterday. What's the cause? Is it something with my website? Did Google do something? The first thing I would do is go to the Moz Rank Change History, go to the SEMrush sensor and see if Google made a major algorithm update that could affect your site. These tools will also tell you what the update was about or what they think the update is about, so that you can actually get some insight and say, okay, this is probably because I built all those spammy links back into my website. Google's finally penalizing me, right? But these are really good tools just to check on how volatile Google is at any given point in time.